Hey everyone, welcome back to Morningwood. So what we're going to do here today is I painted that brown that I paint my foam. Now I painted that black for like an asphalt. Put down the road sticker over here. These work really good, especially in further away areas. Easy to clean and dust. Got some in-scale cars. In fact, if you go to my eBay store right now, I have these packages of 12 cars for 10 bucks. Different colors. Might want to check them out if you're looking for some automobiles at a reasonable price. Also have some other things. Send me a message there on eBay if you're looking for some construction vehicles or anything in that nature. So what we're going to do is, where'd that little building go? I use this one. Supposedly it's a small depot. I'm going to use that as a trolley station. And the electric eye for the auto reverser is right here underneath the pole. And I need to raise this up a bit so that it looks a little bit more applicable to the passengers. As you can see, it sets kind of low. Using Kato track, it's a little bit high. Oh, I got to move my sculpt to mold. Got a Denver Rio Grande passenger train rolling through. So I've kind of used a little dark gray, a little black, trying to make this a cement but yet kind of asphalty for this area. I'm going to take it and put it up there between the two leads there that go up to the turntable. Level off this whole area up here and bring this up and then slope down out into the parking lot. Okay. Okay, before you start working with any plaster, I prefer Sculpt-A-Mold. Make sure that your area is clean. I've vacuumed this area. Kind of going to come down here to the electric eye area. And mix it up. And you want to have a little bit more water in than usual when you're trying to do something smooth, but yet not runny. So it does stick to the spoon pretty good, as you can see here. And yet it's easily manipulated and put into area. Yeah, this is one of my fancy model railroading tools, a soup spoon from a restaurant that I eat at all the time. I'm going to turn off the passenger train. Power. Oh. Power off, please. Thank you, Digitrax. That way I don't have to worry about it coming underneath my hands over here where I'm standing. Okay, so spoon that in. I can see some of this area that some of the Sculpt-A-Mold that didn't get mixed really well. But you can see that I've got a pretty good color to the Kato track. Smooth that there. Keep the bottom of the spoon clear, maybe with a napkin or a rag or something. Don't worry about filling things all at one time. I use the back side of the spoon here. Get a nice dab when I'm coming into narrow areas and fill it up that way. Yeah, it might take me 3 or 4 times, but I don't have a problem with the excess and going other places. Come on now, right here, come on. Get off of there. Get off of there. Come on, there we go. Yeah, I have a hard time trying to find a place to put the camera on this one. The camera's sitting right over the turntable. Looks like you guys got a pretty good view of it going on. Let's bring in a little bit now. We got our base in there. Move that in. Take the heavy out. I kind of want that ramped downwards. Wait, where's the eye? Oh no, we want to continue further over. Further over to, got to bring that back up. See that little bit of white? That's some of it that didn't mix up. So when that dries, boy, that's really going to show off, and you're going to have to paint. And then if you paint this, it's not going to be the same color. So you want to keep that in mind. We'll be drilling a hole for the light that's going to go into that little office ticket booth. So we don't want to have a bunch of white dust and stuff that comes out as well either. Let's move these cars back. I just put the cars out there to have a visual. Now we'll bring that down. Now what I will do though is try to end my Sculpt-A-Mold in a line and then do a little painting over it, or I'll put a fence that will kind of keep it separate. Now when working with this temper paint and Sculpt-A-Mold, if you get a little bit across the rails like I just did, if you get it early, no issue. Otherwise, just a track bar cleaner, just take that right up. You can easily drill a hole in Sculpt-A-Mold as well. I find it a lot easier than plaster. My next video I'll bring out some Sculpt-A-Mold and show you. It's not a powder as much as it is a fibrous, paperous type medium to use. I've used it on my last 2 layouts exclusively and really enjoy working with it. Dries nice, dries to a good hard shell. I'm going to move this camera here. A little bit crooked there. I'm trying to get that tripod straightened out. See this little area here, I had to trim these out, the Kato plastic off of there. It looks pretty sloppy right now, but we'll get this in here and it will look like it's all meant to be. So you want to press it in to fill the gap, just like you would if you're laying real cement. You could put others, you know, if it was a big hole, you'd want to put some kind of filler in there probably, but this doesn't shrink a lot when it dries, but Sculpt-A-Mold does shrink. All things do. Smooth that out a bit. I really do, since the trolley's going to be on this side, I really want that right up to the edge. And I just think that will look better. I'm doing this without my glasses on. That's pretty darn good for a guy my age. I'm working from home today, and I'm on my lunch hour. Put this in today, and probably by tonight I'll be able to set the light in there. And bring that down in a ramp form. Okay. Gotta wipe off my bottom of my spoon. I see I'm getting some lines in there. One direction smoothing, just like if you were think of construction vehicles doing this work for you, how they would do it. they would move in one direction. Try to do things in long lines. You have to apply the same pressure. You're going to get some lines. I don't know, right here at the end of the spoon, right here, is the electric eye. When the trolley crosses that, it stops. Now there's no momentum stop, it just stops, which is okay. I'm sure you could put another eye in front, have it go to a slower speed with another auto reverser. There's got to be something that will slow your engine down like that automatically. But since it's just a back and forth, then to clean the track, I use my little switcher with the track cleaning car. Run it back and forth. It's that little engine is DC. My trolley is DC, not DCC. That way, it's all automated. You can turn it off when I don't want it and on when I want it. In case you haven't saw my other videos, this trolley runs people from the city of Morningwood over to where the theme park, where the mountain is. And that's going to be coming along here pretty soon. I need to start working more on the aesthetics of this layout. It's landscaping, and every time I come in I start running trains and telling myself, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that, but all I do is end up running trains. Any of you other folks ever have that trouble? If you do, leave a comment down in the comment section of how many of you go into work on the railroad but just end up running your trains. I think it's because after you get all your track work done, you want to experiment with it, of course, make sure it's running good and everything, and resolve any running issues you have. And then it's just too darn fun not to run them. So here we come to a line right here. I'm going to put like a gate or a fence on that. Looking pretty darn smooth. Up here I'm going to get some trackside items to put up in here, kind of the industrial area. This will be the public area. And I'm thinking of kind of doing the same thing on this side. But I'm not exactly sure how far I want to come up because we're going to have a hamburger stand there on the corner. So, but up here I want to continue with my, let's call this cement work. Okay, so I'm going to come along and we're going to lay some cement up here around this and around the turntable, kind of get some more height up here, and then we'll bring it down to where the hamburger stand will be. So it'll be road sided drive-through kind of deal. I have some cars with LED headlights I'm going to put on that, and I'm going to put one of the cars with LED headlights on that road over there to kind of light it up for the night shots. Oh, not here. Hopefully I didn't need that piece. So again, come out to the middle, fill the middle, work it out to your edges. Don't fill an edge and work it to the middle. Long strokes to smooth out. sharp edge there to cut the line. There you go, bring that up. Hold on 1 second. Alright, did a hard clean on the bottom of the spoon. Get rid of those lines and buildup. I was doing a little looking around on the Amtrak pages, thinking maybe taking my grandsons on a train trip as soon as I hit Lotto, but looks like the dining rooms are soon going to open back up on that, so you won't be forced to eat in your roomette or your bedroom. When I've done that in the past, I've always gotten a roomette. If you haven't traveled on Amtrak in a roomette, it is a really nice vacation. If you need a bedroom or something, I've seen them. The porters, allowed me to look at them. I've never had one. But now with roomettes, a lot of them have their own toilet. And it's just an enjoyable way to see the USA, as the old song used to go. Okay, so now I want to bring this down. See, where I'm standing behind the camera is where most visitors of the railroad will be looking. So the viewpoint is this way. So you want to really make sure this is taken care of. I always look at the way people will be looking, especially me, since I'm the one who has to live with it more than any of my guests, of course. But when you're doing your landscaping, always look at the view your visitors will be looking at, or you will be looking at when you're operating. Now see, by mixing the paint in with the Sculptamold like I did, when this dries, I don't have to paint it. And if you've tried to paint a large amount of plaster, it seems like you always miss some of the cracks. The cracks show the white off before they even walk in the room. And then, of course, if you're the owner of the railroad, you notice all of it. So let's just go ahead and embed this light. And if I ever have to replace it, I'll just drill a hole for it again from the bottom up, since the pilot hole is already there. And these old lifelike bulbs last pretty darn long. Let's get, we need to get some behind it over here. Push that over to the side. There we go. Good. Had a cucumber salad for lunch. I'm sure you guys can hear me burping the garlic and cucumbers. Okay, so let's get this smoothed out. This is about as far as I want to come out with it right now. And if I come back to elevate this area again, it will probably be black for asphalt to match my roads. It's pretty easy. I use tempera paint to mix into my Sculptamold. And you can do the exact same thing with plaster repairs if you want to. Up here, we're going to put some ballast when we're done. Same thing along this line here.
stool.
You see, it's getting drier. It's a little harder to work with. Getting it smoothed out. But even if I put gravel over this whole area for train yard or car unloading here, we'll cover up some of these imperfections. But look how smooth we got that before this dried up a bit. Okay, so need to have it dry up a bit, obviously, but there's some nice details, little Pepsi sign and barrel on this. A little depot. And a little picture work. It's more like a little freight thing, but I think it'd do good for a trolley. So if we're stopping here on cue, I'm going to want that a little bit like right in the middle, because I want to have some people and maybe some benches out there. So I want to make sure it's level. Looks pretty good there. And that will leave a little imprint of where I want, so I can drill a hole and put my light in there. I'm going to put some window coverings up first so the light bulb can't be seen. Either some tissue paper or some store-bought stuff. We can put cars right up there to where that fence is. People can walk up here. We can paint that out a little bit. So we have that outline, right, where we're going to put that. So we could put a tree in there, because, you know, waiting for the trolley, you would want some shade, I'm sure. So we'll do that like that. I think we'll just do two. I'm using a different color there than in other places. Maybe what we can do is put one back here behind it. It might complete the scene up. And we can, when we come back in there to work, we'll put that in there. So, that's it for now. Got to go back to work. Thanks for watching, guys.